My father was raised in the era when black niggas couldn't claim Native American.
As a native Black American and a proud member of the Muscogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. Help me help you discover your roots with a personalized genealogy consultation. Paper trail genealogy matters. DNA tests can't prove ethnicity or tribal affiliation. You must search through paper records to dive deep into your family heritage. During the meeting, I will teach you how to navigate the genealogy process with ease. You'll learn how to link tribal affiliation with your ancestors, and I'll show you the step-by-step process I went through to gaining tribal citizenship. Take the first step to unlocking your past. To book a consultation, send an email to mike@keymediapro.com. The Equanushiani. So before we get into the family surnames, right now we're going to take a deep dive into the vast different number of Aboriginal American Indian tribes that were here. Meanwhile, they only want us to know about the 5 quote-unquote civilized tribes that got beaten to submission and sold out to the Europeans. But let's get into it.
And I'm glad they put it in alphabetical order. And as you guys can see, this is 800 pages. So it's no joke. Like, this is a lot of information. But yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. The channel is doing a lot better than before, and I really thank you guys so much for that. Thank you. So we're going through. This is weird. I see Catawba. I did a video on Catawba in South Carolina. Oh wow, this is so cool. Let me know if y'all see your tribes or know anything about any of this stuff. I see Cherokee. Oh man. So, and then you got Cheskitaloa, the Seminoles, I guess. Man, this is a lot of information, y'all. Look. Man. Like I said, pause to read. You got a Copper tribe. Copper, so-called from their copper ornaments on Copperman River in the north. That is so cool. You even got Delaware. I remember them. Man, this is so cool. I'm sorry about that rant earlier, y'all, but man, look at this. This is our heritage, man. Stolen heritage, by the way, because like I said before, they don't teach this stuff, man. That's why when I find something like, man,
And this is why when I discuss Aboriginal history with another Black person that says they're Native, I don't ask them what tribe they're a part of. The first thing I ask them is if they've done their family's genealogy. If they say yes, then I ask them what tribe they're affiliated with. Then if I learn that they're affiliated with a tribe that is federally recognized, then I'll ask if they have citizenship. But God damn it, it would be improper. It would be in poor taste for me to run around asking people if they got Native citizenship when we have hundreds upon hundreds of Aboriginal tribes that never got recognized by the government. Hundreds of tribes that were just stripped from history, a paper genocide, if you will. So a lot of us running around saying our grandma told us we Native, for all we know, we descend from one of these tribes that were never recognized.
I'm going to share it, man, because this is knowledge is power, right? You know what I mean? Like, dang, freaking genealogy, man. You're trying to look for stuff. And then they're giving locations, man, like Calusa.
And look, it even has the numbers of the population of some of these. Come on, y'all. Illinois. I didn't know that there was a tribe literally called Illinois. I never thought to myself, why is Illinois called Illinois as a territory? There was a tribe called Illinois, the Lake of Men. It was 12,000 of them in 1670. They had 60 towns. Come on. The Kikatsa were on both sides of Yellowstone. Above the mouth of Bighorn, they had 3,500 tribal members in 1805. Damn, so much history washed away, stripped from the record.
A tribe found early in Florida, long since extinct. You know, oh, you see how they be doing us? I bet you we still here from that same tribe, man. You gotta watch them. Watch how they be lying. Man. All right. Man, this is so cool. Let me know if I'm going too fast, too slow. Like, I don't know. Because I want to do that roll call again for the names. So I had to get some books. So to make sure get some books. And I just want to address the thing when I was reading from that book from the last video, the last 2 videos, I believe. It was the roll call video. Like the author was using some words that we didn't like. We don't use on this platform. The nappy hair or the Negro or the black. But she was just showing what they labeled it as, kind of like with the dreadlocks. She wasn't saying like, yo, I use dreadlocks. At least that's what I interpreted from what I kept rereading. She was just letting us know, like, this is what they would call it. They would call it, you know, kinky hair or nappy hair. And if you go back and listen to that video when I was reading the book, she did say that, hey, we are the...
Look at this, y'all. The Ozamis, one of the 6 tribes on the eastern shore of Maryland and Virginia. I ain't never heard of that tribe before. They don't tell us about these tribes in school.
We are brown skinned people, reddish brown, chocolate brown. You know, like she knows the difference, who we are. You know, she's just saying that's what we're labeled. We're labeled as Negro. We're labeled as Black. You know, and the people used to call our hair nappy or dreadlocks, but it's actually our natural, beautiful hair. And we have locks, not dreadlocks, because that's what the racists call dreadful. So she was just letting everybody know, like, yo, this is, if you've heard that term before, this is what the racists use. But I don't think she meant it and stuff. But when I see words like that, I won't read it anymore. If I see the word Black, I'm gonna change it to autochthonous or indigenous or original, something like that. So, because I know I didn't read the word dreadlocks, I only read the word locks. So I caught that one, but I didn't catch the one like the nappy hair, because I was just so excited to learn about the anisazis and like a new word. I've never heard of that before, that I was able to read about it, you know. So I apologize, and I'll make sure. And then I know the one with the presidents and stuff. Yeah, I didn't know who those people were, like their names. I saw the pictures, but I didn't know their names. Kind of like with Frederick Douglass and stuff like that, and Abraham.
Yeah, shout out to actress Ronnie Davis. Says, I'm Black from Omaha, Nebraska. My grandmother had photos of her mother and her mother that were full-blooded natives. Yep. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Matter of fact, I did a broadcast not too long ago. Let me show you guys where to go find that. I did a broadcast not too long ago exposing the fact that Mildred Loving was not an African-American woman at all. She was a full-blooded Native American. Loving versus Virginia, Hidden Black Native American History. Go check that out. I dropped that 2 weeks ago. Her family came out and said she was 100% full-blooded Indian on both sides. Stop calling my grandmama Black. Stop calling my grandmama an African-American, okay? Come on, y'all. Let's get into it. They want us to think this was about an African-American marrying a European dude. No, this was about us Indians. Come on, let's get into it, y'all. But we're going to finish up this video on the the different native nations here, the different Indian nations. We're going to finish up this video in just a moment and segue over to the video with the surnames. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to bring up the surnames in just a moment.
It's like the European Abraham Lincoln and stuff. So yeah, I'll just make sure I'm better next time. But thank you guys so much for your corrections, though, man. It really helps out helps everyone learn, not just me. So thank you. And I hope you guys saw something new in here, man. Like, this is some man. This is a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff. And look at the locations, y'all. Remember I was talking about like genealogy, when your ancestors was labeled or reclassified to Black or Negro or colored or mulatto, you can be like, okay, cool. So there go Delaware. So I could have been a Wapinga tribe or Waco tribe or something. Wampanoag. I know everybody know about that one. Man, this is so cool. All right. Man, let me know if y'all recognize any of this stuff. And let me know if you don't recognize it. Like we all should be learning this stuff together. That's why when I find this stuff, I'm like, man, I think people need to see. And look how Yamasee, south border of South Carolina.
And again, we're still only touching on the East Coast, down south. We ain't even talking about the Midwest and the West Coast, y'all. They got over 800 different tribes, and we just talking about the East Coast and down south.
And nearly destroyed in 1715 by the English. Remember how the Yamasee War was popping off in 1715, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And if you guys want to, thank you guys so much for leaving a super thanks. I really appreciate it. And if you don't want to leave a super thanks, it's like $2. If you don't want to leave, I can just let me know. I can put my Cash App in. If you just let me know,
All right, I think he's finished with the native tribes. Let's go ahead and segue to the surnames. These surnames that we're going to focus on this time around are from the Tuscarora Indians, surnames from 1695 to 1892. So this is the Tuscarora Indians.
Hey family, please turn your mobile devices to landscape mode. Viewing experience. Thank you. Hey family, if you are interested, here are some surnames from the Tuscarora from 1695 to 1892. While in the process of setting up the Tuscarora DNA project, they needed to find the names of the Tuscarora Indians who are documented in North Carolina before the removal to New York and in New York. The first part was relatively easy because they've already done the research and documented it in the series.
And guys, if you're new to the channel, I do members only live streams on Patreon every Sundays, and we've also got some exclusive content not seen on YouTube over there on Patreon. So make sure to go and sub to the Patreon, guys. It's only $5 per month. We're going to be dropping some gems over there as well.
Series of articles. The first posting is linked above, and from there you can get to the rest. There are a total of 15 segments of this series. From those early documents, they found a total of 407 people in transactions. Many were obviously the same people signing different deeds, for example, but there were many different surnames. So let's go see. So we have surnames from North Carolina group, excluding the New York chiefs, including Allen, Basket, Blunt.
So let's see, guys. I know when we did the first video on the surnames, I found my name, Lane, L-A-N-E. I know a lot of you guys found your names affiliated with different tribes. Let's see if any of our names pop up.
Blount or Blunt, Bridges, Kane, Charles, Cope, Cornelius, Dennis, George, Gibson or Gibson, Hancock, Harry, Hicks, Howett or Hewitt, Jack, James, maybe first name only, Joe as in Captain Joe Lawson, possibly, Lightwood spelled differently, Little John possibly, Lloyd, Miller, Mitchell, Netop, Owens, different variations, Paget or Paget, Pugh, Randall, Rash, Rice or Hill, Roberts or Roberts, different variations of Rogers, Seneca, Smith, Saki, Square Hooks, possibly, Stone, Strawberry Taylor, Thomas, Tough, Tyler, Walker, Wheeler, Welter, Wetter.
I don't know, guys. These are a lot of names that people would modern day say, oh, if you got one of these names, it was your slave master's name, and that's why you got that name. No, it looks like Aboriginal folks took on different surnames, and some of these surnames modern day, we affiliate them with Europeans for whatever reason, but God damn it, there was Aboriginals named Abraham and Walker and Taylor and Jones and Johnson and Jacob.
Waiter, Whitmail, different variations of Wiggins, Manoa, Yalone. The surnames of people who returned to North Carolina from New York to deal with land sales and negotiation include Abraham, maybe first name only, Big Fish, Billy, Cassie, Chew, Cusick, Jacob, Johnson, Jones, Green, King, as a young king, Lewis, maybe first name only, Long, Board, Lovedenny, Mount Pleasant, Prantup, Sakarusa, Sachem, maybe a description, not a surname, Smith, Thomas, maybe First name only, War Chief William. Tuscarora surnames recorded from New York in the War of 1812 include Allen, Beach, Blacknose, Cusick, Fox, Green, Henry, Miller, Mount Pleasant, Patterson, Pemberton, Peter, possibly, Print Up again, Sky, Smith, Thompson, Williams. The next record they were able to find was the Indian Census of New York, 1888 to 1881, in which he or she found Alvis Anderson, Bembleton, Bissell, Brayley, Beaver, Cusick again, Chew, Douglas, De Forest, Fish, Garlow, Green, Gansworth, Hewitt, Hill, Henry, Isaac, Johnson, Jack Jones, Jacob, Jonathan, Jennison or Jamison, Lonto, Mount Pleasant, Martin, Miller, Nash, Parkinson, Print Up again, Peter, Rackett, Sylvester, Smith, Seneca again, Thompson again, Williams again, White again. In 1809, there were a total of 404 Tuscarora, and in 1890, 392. Now for the interesting part of the Tuscarora in New York who had claimed for the War of 1812. 3 surnames were in common with the North Carolina Tuscarora: Allen, Miller, and possibly Smith. Smith was listed as an executor, so may have been a surname before leaving North Carolina. Looking at the War of 1812 records for the Seneca and Oneida, the tribes that adopted Tuscarora, there were few in any English name. So the Tuscarora, people may well have abandoned most English names for North Carolina, returning to mostly native names and later readopting possibly different English or French surnames.
Yes, guys, many Americans, the vast majority of Americans from back then adopted English or French surnames. That's just a fact. There was a lot of immigrants, for example, the Jewish folks. Guys, I didn't learn until a couple months ago, Mark Cuban from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban is Jewish. Well, Mike, his last name isn't like Goldstein or something. How do we know he's Jewish? Well, when I looked into his family's last name was at first Chebesky or something like that. And then when they got to America, they changed their last name to Cuban to assimilate into American culture. So immigrants coming over here take on English or French surnames. Native folks took on English or French surnames. It just said right here, some of them reverted back to their native names and some readopted the English and French surnames. So when they try to say, oh, well, your last name is Johnson or this or that, and it comes from your master's or last name. No. There was many free American citizens that adopted English and French surnames because that's what was the most prevalent and popular in society at the time.
Of the people in the 1889 census, very few surnames were found when the Tuscarora resided in North Carolina, but those few include Hewitt, Jack, Miller, Smith, and Seneca. You may notice that 2 of these names, Miller and Smith, are names that were also in common between North Carolina group and the War of 1812 records. Granted, Miller and Smith are both very common names, but there is what appears to be continuity. So I'm going to post some genealogy links for you guys as well. It looks like there's a good possibility that 5 Tuscarora surnames survived the migration from North Carolina to New York and are likely found in descendants today. It is also very likely that the DNA of the proven Tuscarora paternal lines will match that of descendants, possibly carrying different surnames. In the Carolinas, where we know that some of the Tuscarora remained or married and assimilated. In fact, the records tell us clearly that William came and Tuscarora.
Come on, y'all. I told you they move, they marry, they assimilate. They got a movie they just dropped about Leonardo DiCaprio. He's starring in it, and it's about how all these white dudes marry all the native girls so they can steal their oil and their land and shit. I mean, there was a lot of assimilation going on.
Youth remained, and we know he reached the age of maturity, declined to move to New York, and was last seen headed for Raleigh. A woman named Esther Gibson remained, and at least one other female child. Others likely remained as well, but aren't named in financial records, or had married and assimilated or moved elsewhere in earlier generations between the Tuscarora War in 1711 and the official final removal to New York in 1802. And that's all I have. So I'm gonna show you some websites for genealogy. And if you don't trust the free websites, I'll show you 2 to 3 websites where you can pay for it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, you can pay somebody. Let me bring it up. The first website. Here's the top free genealogy website if you want to check it out. And here's a bonus, www.worldwideweb.archive.com. And I'm going to show you the one that you can pay.
Yeah, guys, you got to look into that. You got to look into that movie. Who was asking about it? Play for Life says, what is the Leonardo DiCaprio movie that you're referencing? It's called Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon. Based on a true story.
You know, you got nice color skin. What color would you say that is?
My color.
The Osage. They have the worst land possible. But they outsmarted everybody. The land had oil on it. Black gold. Money flows freely here now.
I do love that money, sir.
This wealth should come to us. Their time is over.
Come on, if they gonna put it in a movie, how they was plotting and scheming on the Aboriginals because they got oil, then what do you think they did to us that they want to keep a secret? If they gonna publicly monetize this story of their deceits, then what do you think they really did to us?
It's just going to be another tragedy.
When this money started coming, we should have known it came with something else. They're like buzzards circling our people. We're still warriors.
I ought to kill these white men who killed my family. I need you here.
I am right here.
You've got to take back control of your home.
I was sent down from Washington, D.C. to see about these murders.
See, what about them?
See who's doing it.
Yeah, when assimilating with your enemy goes wrong.
Expecting a miracle to make all this go away. You know they don't happen anymore.
Yeah, Interesting, y'all. Interesting to say the least. But yeah, before we wrap up, if there's anybody that wants to call in, provide some commentary, I'm going to open up the phone lines. But yeah, chat, let me know. What did you think about this broadcast? I know that when it comes to the surnames, we were again focusing on the East Coast. We were even more so hyper-focusing on the Tuscarora tribe. But it said there clear as day that there were tribes that assimilated, adopted English and French names, some that stripped themselves of those European French names and went back to their native roots, and then some that readopted those names again. So, yeah, many people in America have been adopting English and French surnames to get along, to go along and fit in, if you will. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, your history comes from one of an African slave who, after getting free, took on their slave master's name. No.